Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we are currently working towards turning a profit here, but of course things are expensive, and we'll get there. We're not there quite yet. I do want to get a couple of these abandoned structures bulldozed, and I am definitely starting to feel, as the city grows, I'm starting to feel the performance drop a little bit. No doubt about that. We'll see how bad it gets. If it gets too bad, we may have to end the series, but for now, there's no major issue. I want to check in real quick on our ground pollution situation. As usual, at the beginning of each episode, it's getting better, but it's a slow process. Very slow indeed. Cool. Now, nothing has ever been built here. Is that zoned? It is zoned. I'm going to unzone it and rezone it. But I'm guessing that's due to the pollution, that nothing has ever been built here. They're still appalled at how healthcare is run in this city. I mean, it's not our fault if they're not going to the medical clinics that we built for them. The patient numbers have risen here. Not so much here. And we're not maxing out our ambulances either. So it seems fine to me. There's still a lack of customers over here, and high rent in the industrial zone. Okay, fair enough. Let's bump it up to speed 3 here. That'll be fine. And we do see a small amount of demand for medium density residential. Really not much at all, but there is a little bit of demand. We'll put it in like over here, but there's really not a lot. We'll put some low density residential in over here as well. There we go. And I would like to get some streets built out over this way. That was 91 degrees. Hang on, that was entirely improper. Let's not do that. Let's try this again. That's more like it. Perfect. So we're going to bring this right on in. This is 90 degrees. And can we build this here? No, actually. This small park is overlapping it. We're going to need to relocate the park up over to here. I guess that's fine for now. And we're going to need to extend this road on out to approximately here. That'll do. Cool. I want to do the same thing, of course, up over here. And we're going to bring this on out to about here. There we go. And bring this over to here. Perfect. So that'll do for now. It doesn't feel safe going out at night with all the crime around. We also had a couple of traffic accidents. Oh, that's a pretty nasty accident there, actually. That's going to create quite a backup. Okay, the road maintenance vehicle is currently securing the accident site. I don't know where it's at right now. Ah. Yes. As I said, that's going to create quite a backup. It's a pretty nasty car accident, to be honest. Clearing this one might be the best bet, which apparently the road maintenance vehicle is here? Apparently this is the road maintenance vehicle? No, hang on. Road maintenance vehicle is here. So, how is it intended to get here? Well, these are now going. Okay. It's just a traffic light sort of situation? I gotcha. So it's now under control. But that definitely created some awkward situations that it was here. And that it was that bad of an accident. That looks like a rough one. No doubt about that. Waiting for a hearse is normal, apparently. I think that the problem there is that the timer for this notification to pop up is just slightly too short. Honestly, I think that's the problem. I don't think that we actually have an issue with our crematoriums. So if we head out over to our crematorium here, we can see, yeah, 4 out of 20 vehicles in use right now. So I think that that timer is just a little too short. It might be indicating that, well, you really should have another one down here, but, you know, it produces air pollution, and I want it up in our air pollution area. Makes sense to me. Okay, we've got a traffic jam out over here. Yeah, I could see that. So, one question that I have here What is the control on these intersections? It looks like they're traffic lights. Yeah. So these are traffic lighted. Got it. Is this still considered a traffic jam here? Yes, it is. Okay. So what can we do about that? So we can go into our roads here, and we can go into road services, and we can force traffic to stop at an intersection. We can prohibit traffic from turning left, prohibit them from going straight, or prohibit them from turning right. Or we can have stop signs, or we can have traffic lights. Okay. So those are the only real options. The default, I believe, for all of these intersections... Oh, that changes this intersection here? Or at least the street lights on them. Weird. Okay. These are not intended to really be traffic lights. So I want these to be more stop signs, and that is a stop sign now. So we can see that here... Is this just uncontrolled? I think this is just uncontrolled right now. So that's definitely interesting. Is there any way to, like, bulk insert stop signs? Because I don't actually want traffic lights. The locations where traffic lights would make sense would be on our avenues. But those are roundabouts. So those are just, you know, by default yield, right? So that's interesting. Can we, like, click and drag? I guess we can click and drag. Oh, we can, like, drag a box? That drags a route, actually. Uh-huh. Well, that's kind of awkward. So these should be basically stop signs, but I want priority traffic on this avenue here, right? So I want to actually remove these for the time being. Something like that. Okay. So this is backing up, attempting to turn onto the avenue here. So what I want for these is I want through traffic on the avenues, and I want these to be stop signed when they're entering onto the avenue. Traffic lights here doesn't make sense to me. So, is there any way to do that? With City Skylines 1, that was done with the Traffic Manager add-on. But in this game, it's kind of built in, right? But it's not as good. This just puts stop signs like a four-way stop. I don't necessarily want a four-way stop. Unless I'm not understanding exactly what's going on here. But I'm pretty sure I am understanding what's going on here and not liking it. Basically, what I'm saying is I want a little bit more control here. Now, we do have a pretty big demand for commercial right now, which is surprisingly a good thing. So we're going to get some of this zoned on up. Is that enough? That might be enough commercial for now. We'll see. We could also get a little bit more over here, potentially. Yeah, that's enough commercial for now. So that's the overall goal that I would have for these would be, I don't want the stop sign going this way. Maybe we can set that like on the road level. Right click doesn't actually do anything. Fascinating. So we can change it from a stoplight to a stop sign, but either way it's a four-way stop. And I don't want that. What I want is through traffic here on these avenues. So ultimately, what this might end up meaning is that we need to elevate these and we need to put like essentially on-ramps. That would do what I want. And that might be a good way to go. It might be an expensive way to go. One question that I have. In City Skylines 2, if we were to use the replace tool, and we put this in here, if we then page up to increase the altitude of it. No, that does not work. So functionally, the way that we would have to do this is we would have to bulldoze this Crest Avenue here. Like that. And yeah, that's going to create problems. I'm aware of this. Then we would have to bulldoze this guy, and we would take this roundabout out of there for now. Right? And then we would have to bring this up. So we would use the straight line tool. And we would put this up to be at least one high.
Has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions.
Yeah, that works.
Please exercise caution if you must drive.
So then we would put that there, and then this would come down and merge in, just like it did before. Now, none of this is going to actually have road access over here. That is understood. So this is not going to have road access over here, and these are just going to be problematic, right? So those are going to have to be eliminated. And I'm going to get rid of that as well. We're going to unzone this area. And then we'll rezone that like so. There. So something along the lines of that. Now, Cedar Street is going to have to be continued in this vein. And Barlow Avenue would also end up being elevated, which would, of course, be awkward for things like our police station and our elementary school over here. No doubt about that. However, one question that I have is this high enough to put something like that right here? As a hypothetical, I'm not actually going to do this. No, it's not. Okay. So that's a hypothetical there. Noted. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Barlow Avenue out of here. That's going to create further issues. This is not surprising in the slightest. So we're going to put this here, and we're going to link this up like so. And then we're just going to bring this down like so. Now, obviously, our police station is going to have connectivity issues. So I would love to put our police station...
Or so my wife tells me. That's good.
Would it fit here?
And good for the community.
Thanks, Jim. We'll be back after.
It might fit here.
Industry in the region is
so then this gets built out like so. It does fit there.
There's no sinking.
Beautiful. So that would definitely work. Ooh, hang on. This goes back down. I did not intend for this to go back down. I intended for this to maintain its current altitude. So I want this to be right here, but remain elevated. Yep, exactly like that. So now the question is, what happens if we put in a roundabout here? Can we have an elevated roundabout? Slope too steep over here. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to take this out of here for now. We'll get a refund on that. And we still need to get that out of there. There we go. Cool. And now what we can do is we can bring this guy in like so. That did not link. Okay. Cool. Let's get that out of there. And let's bring this guy in. I want to bring it down and connect it in. Yeah. Approximately like this. Okay. So that's all a hypothetical, right? Now this guy... Oh, it requires a road connection over here? Oh, that's low-density housing. Hang on. I was like, our police station... No, that's not a police station. So we're going to have to delete a lot of these structures, right? And a lot of these are going to have to be redone eventually. So that's going to be a little bit painful. The next question is, how are we going to harvest this space? That is quite a question, actually, and I'm not sure at this point. I'll have to think about that one, because that space is definitely being wasted, and I don't like that. One question to ask is, what does this look like underneath? Okay, that's interesting. Noted. So obviously, this is a problem right now, right? We're going to have to go through and replace, like, all of our avenues, but I want to do this on a sort of piecemeal basis. So for now, all that we're going to do is we're going to take this out of here, and I want to construct it in and connect down here, like that. So we're just doing this area right now. There we go. The power keeps going out. Really? That surprises me a lot, considering we've got the dam up here as well, at 0% usage. 64% usage on the incineration plant, the small coal power plant at 72, the small coal power plant at 100. So we're definitely ramping up our electricity use. There's no doubt about that. I think nighttime is a big part of that. There's a pretty big demand right now for low-density housing. We're going to put some in over here. I'm going to avoid zoning near the avenues for right now because we're going to be elevating these avenues, right? That's going to be the idea here. And yeah, I'm definitely wondering how we're going to harvest this space here. Or maybe we just don't. Yeah, maybe we don't. We'll find some way to use it, I'm sure. That'll almost certainly be a thing. Waiting for a hearse, yeah. Just getting our traffic situation sorted out would be a big boon. No doubt about that. So one question to ask here is, what do we want to use for, like, on-ramps, right? Just a one-lane, one-way road? Or is there a specific on-ramp road here? A one-lane, one-way highway. So it would probably end up being something like this, right? So then, as a theoretical scenario, we would have something trying to connect in something like that, right? So, yeah, we could maybe utilize this space that way. With, like, on-ramps. It would be an interesting way to do it, for sure. I'm not sure what that would end up looking like, to be honest. I'll have to think about that. For now, of course, we're going to be just slowly working our way through here. I want to do this, like, one avenue at a time. And it's going to be quite disruptive to do each of these avenues, but we need to get started on it. Particularly disruptive considering that we've got this going on over here. We might want to wait to commence that project until we rank up. That's probably not a terrible idea. That'll let us work through our current financial issue. It's going to be relatively expensive. We're going to have to do a lot of relocation. We're going to have to build a lot of more expensive road work. I think overall, that'll buy us a fair amount of time there. So if that's the case, for now I am going to zone this over here, but I'm doing this medium density residential. And then we're going to do more low density residential up here for now. And we're just going to look to get more population at this point. More population is absolutely what is necessary here. We need to get our financial trend turned around, and it is halfway there. It's very close to turning around. So that's looking solid as far as that goes. How are we doing on our garbage production at this point? Okay. So we're not processing at anywhere near maximum capacity. That's to be expected. I'm deeply, deeply unsurprised about that one. We can also upgrade this. Indeed. That is pretty expensive, but it is something that we can do. So we're going to have to move parts around over here. For the time being, our first upgrade we may want to have be like this over here. We're still going to have to move like our underground parking building and things like that. But yeah, I think overall this will help the traffic flow considerably. Because as it is right now, I think the default is that we are traffic lighted for a lot of these. And traffic lights are not great for what we're going for here. We want these to be high throughput roads, which means that they're basically non-stop roads, right? Functionally like highways, but we're not actually building them as highways. We could upgrade them to highways later, though, if we choose to, or increase the number of lanes or whatever. It would be relatively easy to now that once the elevated portion is in. So right now this looks pretty dumb, right? Because it's just this one spot, but that was more of a trial balloon to see what's going to be needed to get this all done. And now that we know that, we're going to need some cash. We are losing money right now, but once we grow up above around 10,000-ish, we should be reasonably okay on that front. Are we seeing any other major issues right now? Well, no. There are some abandoned structures. We've got this lacking pedestrian access thing. I don't think that's real. It might be due to this slope. I don't know. I'm just going to bulldoze it. It's probably going to come back. But let's bulldoze these abandoned structures over here. Looks good. There's also one up over this direction. Looks good there as well. So yeah, this is going to be a big project getting this done, and I think once we hit level 8 will be the time to do that. Or at least once we're actually making money. One of those things. For the time being, let's continue to extend our 2-lane roads out over this way. So that's functionally going to mean that we're going to need to build this set of blocks, right? Because we need to determine where our vertical streets are. So that's going to go here. And then here for now. So that would be where this cuts off at. So that would bring straight on up over to here. Looks good. And then we would extend this block on out. And yeah, these blocks are going to have to have some... They're going to have some additional work done on them. It's going to be interesting to figure out how we're going to get the on-ramps sorted. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to structure those yet. We'll get there. Okay, so we need to build this like out to here and then out to here. Gotcha. We'll see how we want to structure the on-ramps. That'll definitely be an interesting thing. The other question to ask is, this road here, do we want it elevated? I don't know. That may not be a thing that we want. Yeah, we're not using the hydroelectric dam at all. So that's all absolutely fine. I'll have to think about this road and then its counterpart that's going to be going over here, of course, because this side, we should probably just build in the new elevated paradigm, right? There's no point in building it unelevated. Oh, hello. So these are waiting for an ambulance. The ambulance has been dispatched, and it's actually literally right there. And I'm guessing this is the other ambulance? Yeah. So that's solved. Again, I think that's just a timer issue. The hearse is right there again. I believe. Where are you, hearse? You're actually just dispatched? Okay, maybe we do have a bit of a hearse issue if that one was just dispatched, but we're only 11 of 20, so I think this is more a traffic issue than anything else. Once we get our road rework done, I do expect that to solve a lot of those issues. We are seeing a significant amount of low-density demand, so we're just going to cruise on through here and get all of that zoned up. That should stop the problem for now. And we're creeping up on that 10,000 mark. Current trend is a bit lower, but that's probably because of the demand. Okay, at about minus 4,000-ish. Yeah, that makes sense. So for now, that's reasonably fine. We're just going to need to continue our growth, and the real question is, when are we going to go through and redo our elevation out here? I do think that's when we hit level 8 and get our cash infusion, because it's going to be expensive. I just don't want to do it quite yet. That said, this out over here, we absolutely are interested in doing, but I want this block, right? This meta block here, I want this to I want this river to not disrupt the pattern. So what I mean by that is this block would be ending like right here, right? And then it would have one more and then one more. I want that one more to be right here. So I want to maintain the pattern despite the river is the idea. Lots of hearse requirements, and apparently there was a traffic jam right down over here. Why does this have a stoplight? This should be absolutely uncontrolled here. Like, it's literally just merging the two lanes into two lanes. They're the same lanes. We also shouldn't have pedestrian crossings here. So we're going to rework this a little bit. Absolutely. So we're going to remove the crosswalk. No, I don't care about the economy right now. We're going to remove the crosswalk over here.
Did you say panic?
No crosswalk.
The death rate is skyrocketing.
No crosswalk.
We gotta get out of here.
And then we're going to say no traffic lights. Get out of here, traffic lights. Just go.
We're live, and we're getting reports.
There's
about
absolutely no reason.
Somewhere in the city.
Lane changing issues here, potentially.
Flow should return to normal. But if you're planning a quick trip out, you might want to wait a little while until everything.
I don't think this is actually an issue.
You,
It's just lane changing.
No use reminding you. Meanwhile,
lots of people trying to come in, and as this cleans up, this is primarily caused by the fact that this was controlled. As this cleans up, we should have this go away. This shouldn't be a problem in the long term. Beautiful. So of course these roundabouts are yield. Yes, that is correct. Interesting. They have yield signs, but we can't do yield here? Huh. That's interesting. Regardless, it's not all that relevant. We are cruising our way through this traffic jam here that is definitely working on cleaning up. It's moving forward. I have no idea why it decided traffic lights were the way to go on this intersection, wherein it's not actually an intersection. It's just a merge. Very strange. But whatever, it is fine. It is now time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about getting ourselves up to level 8 and starting this road upgrade project. We're also probably going to start expanding into this area out over here very, very soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.